Ever messed up a chip or missed an easy putt just because of the pressure to try and make par? If you have, you're not alone. I've done it more times than I can count, but here's the truth. For us mid to higher handicappers, aiming for par on every hole is basically just ridiculous. And the pressure you put on yourself from that mindset might be wrecking your game. Trying to make par on every hole forces you to play under the kind of pressure that you haven't earned yet. You end up being stressed, you tighten up, and because of that, you're just going to score worse. Now that's why I use what I call the Sidekick scoring system, based on the Golf Sidekick's advice. It helps me to manage expectations, swing more freely, and play closer to my real potential. And it really is simple to use. Here's how it works. Let's take a 24 handicapper for example. He's already got 2 extra shots on holes 1 to 6 and another extra shot on all the others. But instead of thinking about trying to shoot traditional par on each hole, we just add those shots to the normal par to get a new par. Here are a few examples from my home course, George Golf Club, here on the Garden Route of South Africa. First of all, hole 1 is a par 4, but it's stroke 13, so we get 1 extra shot there. So for a 24 handicapper, the new par would be 4 plus 1 is 5. Hole 3 on the other hand is stroke 5, so even though it's still a par 4, we get the 2 extra shots, so add 2 to the 4 to get a new par for this hole of 6. For a 16 handicapper, it's much simpler, where they get only 1 extra shot for holes with a stroke index 1 to 16, and for stroke indexes 17 and 18, the par stays the same. I've also found this really useful for trying to break scoring goals. So if we take the example of someone trying to break 100, we take 1 less than that, 99, and subtract the par of 72 to give a handicap for the player of 27. So that means they get 2 extra shots for holes with a stroke index of 1 to 9, and then 1 on the rest, all of that adding up to 27, and a new par for them for the course of 99. Now the point of all of this is what it does for your mindset. Let's take hole 7 at George as a good example. It's the stroke 1 hole on the course, and the reason for that is that firstly, it's just over 400 yards, it's a dog leg to the right, and the fairway slopes from right to left. But once you're on the green, it's actually quite straightforward to 2-putt. But anyone with a handicap of over 18 gets 2 extra shots on this hole. So instead of treating it like a par 4, we could treat it like a par 6. The big difference with that now is that we actually have 4 shots to get onto the putting surface. That opens up all sorts of options that you probably wouldn't consider otherwise when trying to get there. Suddenly, it's not really a monster hole anymore, it's just a puzzle that you need to solve. Now the nice thing about this is you don't have to be a slave to the stroke indices either, you can actually swap the numbers around. Another pressure we often put ourselves under is to be on the green in regulation. Now we do know that GIR is one of the few traditional stats that correlates to scoring. But again, taking our hole 7 at George, trying to be on the putting surface in 2 is frankly quite ridiculous for someone of my playing ability. So again, if I give myself 4 shots to get onto that putting surface, it takes all the pressure off and I'm playing stress-free golf. The fact of the matter, we all know that golf is as much a mental game as it is anything. Adjusting par to fit your game really takes the pressure off and lets you play with real freedom. Try this on your next round. I promise you it'll change how you think, and because of that it'll also change how you score. I've linked the Golf Sidekick's channel in the description below, so be sure to go and check it out. He's the reason I think this way, but once you've done that, make sure to come back to my channel to see how I'm applying his techniques every week on some of the most beautiful courses in South Africa. In fact, in the next video I'm going to show you how I put some of these techniques to the test. Using nothing longer than a 6-iron, you'll be absolutely shocked at how I scored. Check it out here.